All right then. So game number one between the legend and I want to say the old school boys. Still got that on my mind for some reason. Geez, what is their name? They are Goodfellas. Oh my god. Gonna be Noisy on that war boss. This big tanky melee hero who can walk through cover and knock things down and charge in. Dark Riku going to be playing as the Apothecary. This Apothecary is a healing commander. Next up, going to be Kickin on that tunneling Ravener Alpha to tunnel around the map. And finally, it's going to be Dark Hero on Sindri, Trollface, Chaos Sorcerer. So, let's see where we will go. Ashes of Typhon, interesting map. I do feel it feels pretty spread out to me. I feel like there's so much space here over on this side of the map. No engagements have happened yet, but it is a 1-0 cap at the moment for Goodfellas. Let's see. Oh, yeah, you're right, Best Newbie. Shadows are still on. You know what I did, Best Newbie? I went into options, I turned on Shadows off, and then instead of pressing accept, I probably accidentally pressed cancel. We'll see if we can fix that after this game. Alright then, Warboss is going to be charging forward here. He kind of gets free reign since these Termagants do not have Toxin Sacks yet, so he can just walk forward. Meanwhile, Ravener Alpha potentially in a little bit of trouble, but he will manage to get out of there alive. Alright, Chaos Space Marines will be in cover, but eventually they will just be swamped by all these orcs. Doombolts will be coming in for that Sorcerer, but they will not connect with anything. And it will be these heretics. They're just getting kited off the field, taking damage. At this point, I almost feel like if they're going to go this far back, they might as well retreat to reduce the losses they'll take. I mean, they take so many more model losses from not retreating and not getting that range damage resistance buff. Up here, we are going to see Termagants coming back out to take the contested victory point back for the red team. Slight victory point lead for Noisy and Dark Riku. Warboss is in here. He will be getting into melee. I was wondering if he was going to look for a stomp, possibly get some more retreat kills. Sorcerer does get a special attack there, though, on those Tactical Marines. Meanwhile, range fire is going to be laid in on the Warboss. Going to be Chaos Space Marines as well as the Ravener Alpha. Just laying in that range fire on the Warboss, and eventually he will have to retreat. So, we got the scouts here. They are going to solo bash a generator. This will take ages to complete. I don't even know if it's in their time to really even just stay here. Chaos Space Marines will come around. Chaos Space Marines are at low hit points, but they are going to be looking for force melee, and even with relatively low hit points for the Chaos Space Marine, going to be just a clearly winning matchup for them, so that will be the retreat from the scouts before they lose any models. 2-1 now for Noisy and Dark Riku. Shooter boys open fire on the Ravener Alpha. Also get a aiming what's that to slow him down. And the Sluggas from Noisy will just back off to not take any bleed and not find himself having to retreat prematurely. Still now a 2-0 for Noisy and Dark Riku, so early advantage for them. This Sorcerer is in here with a few upgrades. He's got the Sword of Flame. He does have the Vestments of the Warp. All right, then. I think we're going to have our big engagement go on right here. Luda Squad has suppressed those Termagants, but there is the Raveners tunneling in. They do scare off the Ludas, and I think this is going to be a one engagement for Kickin right here. We are also seeing an upgrade from that Ravener Alpha. Has the Toxic... Is it miasma or miasma? I never really know for sure. But anyway, it does some damage over time in a radius around the Ravener Alpha. Yeah, this is definitely clearly a one engagement for him. So he will be able to take back the contested victory point, but they are quite behind in victory points overall, with it seems like Dark Hero constantly getting force backed. He actually lost one of his heretics. Alright, Sanguine Chainsword out yet again from Dark Riku. Well, maybe this warrior is better than I thought. Seeing Dark Riku go for this multiple times today, just trying to help that Apothecary sustain in fights. And I guess one of the things that's good about this is that if he can get into melee and fight, he can continue to fight, and instead of having to use his heal on himself, he can save it for the Tactical Marines or the Assault Marines. Some more Doom Bolts going in. Pretty good hit on those scouts. Does force a retreat from them. Meanwhile, grenades will go in on those Tactical Marines. It's going to be them off the field. Apothecary deciding to use that Sanguine Chainsword. Forest Radio, at this point I forget which one was the second, but I think you mean Miasma. I'm not sure. Anyway, big engagement going on right here. Termagants are so low, so they will have to retreat. Looks like there was some use your choppas on the Sluggas, and they will have to get out of there as well. Alright, so Dark Riku now has the opportunity to put in a Generator Bash. It's going to be a slow Generator Bash, and they're also going to take some Doom Bolts. It was only a 3-bolt volley, though. Dark Hero not using Consume before using the Doom Bolts. Now they will be tied up by the Sorcerer. They actually managed to get a knockdown on the Sorcerer, but I think there are just too many Chaos units here. Tactical Marines actually lose a model from some grenades coming out of the Heretics. Assault Marine's going to jump in further. I hope Riku has a heal to go in on them, because Heretics are still here as well, and he will just end up retreating them. I don't know. The Apothecary's still in here, possibly looking to see. He does get a Havoc model, maybe seeing if he can get another one. He's been in here quite a while. Of course, he's probably going to be saving the heal to use with Purification Rites. I think that heal needs to come soon, and then it probably just needs to be a retreat. He's going to stay in here. Alright, meanwhile, looks like tons of Tyranids dying on this side of the map as Noisy pushes forward for yet another Generator Bash. Man, this is looking like the comeback of Riku in this series. He unfortunately had a poor showing 2 MTTs ago. This series, he's doing quite a bit better this monthly tournament. And it's a pretty significant lead for Noisy and Dark Riku. 480 to 209 victory points, about to be a 2-to-1 in favor of Kickin and Dark Hero, so they should start getting victory points back in their favor, but they've got a lot to make up at this point. We are going to see the Luda. The Luda is starting to put in some damage, but they're so low in hit points. They know the Ravener Tunnel Jump is going to come in. Ravener Brood, though, so low in hit points, does lose 1 model, but it is enough for them to... I think that does give Kickin the win in this engagement, especially with the Sorcerer coming in to provide some assistance. Hasn't even done anything yet, but there go in. A whole Doomvolt volley nearly wipes the Shooter Squad, and actually, will he? No, he does not get the wipe. There is a special attack on another Shooter model, so that is a Shooter Squad, unless he has a teleport ready, which I don't think he does now. Alright, meanwhile, on this side of the map, it is going to be this Razorback coming out of Dark Riku, very commonly pulling out this Razorback. He's now chasing after these Havocs, and Dark Hero does not yet have an answer. Both Havocs, well, he's got 2 Havocs, but he's stuck in Tier 1 at the moment, so Razorback is currently completely unanswered. Yeah, there is literally no answer to the Razorback whatsoever, unless I am completely derping and just missing something. Razorback here is just running all over things, providing that constant range DPS on the currently effectively invulnerable platform of the Razorback until we do see some anti-vehicle answers from Kickin and Dark Hero. So we will actually see a Tyrant Guard. Tyrant Guard coming out. Don't know yet what's going to be coming in from Dark Hero. He already has an autocannon queued up. Assault Marine's going to be jumping in on the Chaos Space Marines for Dark Hero at the moment. And we do see Chaos Havocs managing to get in their suppression. Going to be another jump in. So both of those Havocs in one place means it is just an immediate retreat for both of them. All right, Razorback going to be putting in some damage on the Termagant Brood. My God, this is actually a pretty dominant game one. Even though Kickin and Dark Hero have bigger armies, they don't have the map. Dark Hero is finding himself constantly in retreat. Generator Bash will be completed. So far, this Razorback has seemed to have had free reign. Heretics, I'm not sure where they were going. Might have just been attempting a back cap, but they do just get focused down and forced off the field. I feel like I've been hearing nothing but that Razorback gunfire for like the past 3 minutes. Man, this I was going to say that Apothecary is really low. Oh, Forest Radio. Anyway, I think this is probably the end of the game. They're going to need to make some quick plays. I mean, the contested victory point actually is open. There's no one there to stop a play on the contested victory point, but it seems like they're just being a little bit stubborn at the moment. Trying to get into just an engagement right here, seeing if they can win a fight, kill some things. Assault Marines yet again going to jump on the Autocannon Havoc, so that Autocannon Havoc not being able to do any significant damage to the Razorback. Assault Marines will jump in yet again. Warboss is going to get in here as well. Yeah, I mean, these Havocs, they're just not able to get anything done. What a rough game. At some point, we did see the decap by Dark Hero. At this point, it is only buying time. There's just something about they're just not winning. Kickin and Dark Hero just not winning enough fights at the moment.
This day shall be a glorious one for the Imperium.
Razorback just going around. Oh, and now we have the Predator out from Dark Riku. This is at the point where I think even if the victory points don't eventually go in their favor, I wouldn't be surprised to see it concede with that Predator out on the field. Dark Hero and Kickin both stuck in Tier 2. Not even able to deal with the Razorback. Okay, Razorback, just kidding. Razorback is dead, but that's okay because now we have a Predator. I meant to click on the Predator. Predator is being chased down by the Tyranid Range Mob. One-man host, Pog. Yes. Or one viewer host. One viewer host. All right, meanwhile, on this side, we are going to see Orcs from Noisy about to engage with some Tyranids. Looks like they're mostly ignoring the Tyrant Guard. Warboss will get snared by Crippling Poison, but that still isn't enough to bring a victory for Kickin and Dark Hero. Gonna be GG. Game 1 going in favor of Dark Riku. Wow. Actually pretty dominant game despite bigger armies from Kickin and Dark Hero. What happened? I don't even get it. All right. Just waiting for Swordmaster 271 to load into this game. I have no idea why he's even here. I don't think he's one of the refs, unless maybe I'm wrong and he is actually like a streamer or something. All right, then. We're going to be going into game number 2 between the Legend and Goodfellas. And, of course, my colors are mixed up, so we'll fix that real quick right like this. There we go. And then we will be going back into our game where we take a look at Kickin. Kickin now going to be on that Force Commander, tanky melee hero, who I'm losing track of because I'm pressing the wrong button. This is a tanky melee hero who can disrupt with Battlecry and disrupt with Battlecry. I think I said the same thing twice. But Dark Hero is going to be playing as that Tech Marine. Tech Marine, tanky. I guess he can be tanky later on, but I really meant to say he's a ranged Space Marine hero with a gun for every occasion. Noisy will be playing this Orc Warboss. This is a tanky melee hero who can be very, very aggressive with charging and such. And finally, gonna be Dark Riku, the Angel of Death, playing as his trademark Apothecary. Apothecary is a healing commander. So then, let's take a look as the Apothecary moves out behind some cover, behind his Tactical Marines, going to let them tank some damage first as they open up on the Tech Marine from Dark Hero, but here is his scouts coming, bringing up the rear. All right, not too much happening yet, but it is a 1-to-1. Soon to probably be a 2-to-1 in favor of Noisy and Dark Riku. And we are now going to see an engagement. It is some scouts getting pretty low on hit points. Apothecary charging in from Dark Riku yet again. He is pretty low, so he ends up having to use the heal on himself. We do see a double from Noisy and Riku. That does mean, yeah, we're going to see a decap on this power. This other one, not ready for a decap, but we'll probably see that taken down pretty quickly, especially just with both Noisy and Dark Riku committing to this side of the map. So perhaps on the other side of the map, we will see this Blood Ravens. We've got some Blood Raven skins from Kickin, trying to take down some generators. Doesn't seem like he'll be doing that, actually. Instead, he's going to take this engagement with this lone Shooter Boy squad. He does upgrade to a Flamer, though, so actually he is going to burn those generators down as quickly as he can in response. So we're going to have some pretty disrupted power incomes for both teams. With this one, although it never actually had much in terms of generators, it's only this node, which I'm not even sure will be destroyed, because there is so much of a response to the Apothecary and this lone squad of Tactical Marines for Dark Riku. And on the other side, I think this actually ends up being a winning trade for Kickin and Dark Hero, because this Flamer attack squad should eventually finish this whole farm. While on the other side, we will see some generators placed. Yeah, so that feels like a winning trade to me. Doesn't actually... because they actually lost not only the power income, but all the requisition that they spent to buy all those generators. On this side, though, however, we will see the power node actually noted up for the red team on this side, going to significantly delay the recapture of this power node. It's going to be taken down by a Devastator Marine squad at close range.
The enemy is destroying a key structure.
All right, then. It will be these scouts starting to chase down the other scouts. Okay, I was going to say another Devastator Marine squad. It will be another Devastator Marine squad, but not for the same player. Kickin also going to be getting Devastator Marines. So... No Assault Marines for either member of Goodfellas, whereas Riku does have the Assault Marines. All right, then. So Force Commander looking for a decap in middle. For the War Boss will start chasing down both squads of Tactical Marines. And we do see an interesting War Gear choice, that War Boss going for the spiky armor. And it is interesting to see that. Normally I think of that spiky armor more as being a melee counter, where that is something that is very good, like if you're being swarmed by Hormagaunts or Sluggas or something. Against Space Marines, I wouldn't think of it as being quite as good, but I think he mainly just wants it for the tankiness that it will give him from the extra 250 hit points as well as the health regeneration. I wouldn't be surprised if we do also see the War Boss get the Angry Bits. Meanwhile, we have Assault Marines jumping in here. They don't have a lot of hit points, though. So one Assault Marine model does go down. While on this other side, it will be some Ludas opening fire on scouts. They do actually manage to suppress them, but the Ludas no longer have the targets, no longer have the scouts as a target, so they will retarget on the Tactical Marines. Scouts looking to get in. I think they were probably looking to throw a grenade. To me, this feels, at least so far, like a winning engagement for Noisy. Yeah. Does manage to get the retreat on those Tactical Marines. Scouts do not have shotguns. They attempt to nuke the Sluggas with a grenade, but it is a miss. Oh man, Noisy is taunting them. Man, he's almost being a little bit toxic. Doesn't he know that we don't allow any toxicity in this community? Anyway, so Kraken Bolt's going to be going in from Dark Hero's Tactical Marines onto Riku's Tactical Marines, but they will get out of there with all three of their models. Grenade attempt kill on retreat. Pretty far thrown grenade. Doesn't end up getting anything. All right, then. So, man, chat just has a life of its own. I don't even know how many of you are even watching this game. But anyway, we are going to see Devastator Marines now, I think, in quite a little bit of trouble. We do see that Angry Bits upgrade here. Angry Bits will get that War Boss in. Does also give himself the Ard Boys Global, so that he can just... yeah, I mean, Noisy has actually been pretty dominant in both of these games so far, managing to charge in there. And we are yet again going to see that Sanguine Chainsword upgrade yet again from Dark Riku, giving him that sustain in fights. So victory points are pretty even at the moment, though. So at least for the moment, this game looks pretty even. Tactical Marines in cover, weathering the storm of all this Orc Daka. Tactical Marines will get suppressed, and the Flamer Tactical Marine Squad decides to eventually just get out of there. Where's the Force Commander going? I was wondering if he was going to come in to help them, because right now this does look like it is going to be Kickin, who seems to be just kind of pinned in his base at the moment, struggling to get out. All right, we will see. That is a lone Assault Marine model jumping out. No force melee attempt by the Tactical Marines from Dark Hero. Knows it probably won't make a difference and won't result in a kill. All right, then. So, Devastator Marine Squad, they might actually get wiped here, taking all that damage. So, that suppression, so much suppression from the Orcs. I mean, we got the Ludas, we've got the aiming, what's that, and then just layering that suppression along with the DPS from the Shooter Boys, just making life pretty hard there. And as I take a look in the chat, yeah, we don't have a Chainsword and Storm Shield. I would not mind to see Kickin actually get that. I think it would help him out quite a bit against these Shooters as well as the Ludas, especially considering he doesn't have Assault Marines to just jump on the Ludas. But we will see. All right, meanwhile up here, Shotgun Scout's going to be bashing that generator. They will back off here. War Boss is now fully upgraded, has the Power Claw. Having trouble getting into melee as well as just getting out of this Devastator firing arc. He is moving so slowly. Finally, he is no longer moving slowly. Did take a lot of damage in that process, even with Ard Boys active on him. Scouts, meanwhile, getting a little too close, but they will get a Shotgun Blast on that War Boss, and he will just end up retreating. In fact, it's going to be Noisy completely in retreat. Victory points will be decapped in the middle, so soon it should be a 2-to-1 victory point. Actually, it looks like it might be a triple cap. Soon to be a triple cap between... or a triple cap for the blue team. Assault Marines jumping in for Riku, though, looking for this engagement. Oh, no, though. We have the Tech Marine there, upgraded with the Plasma Gun. Going to start putting in a lot of damage on any Power Armory units that it can acquire. It looks like Overcharge is no longer active, though, so not quite enough damage against those Assault Marines, at least not yet. Assault Marines still focused down, though. There is an Assault Marine model down. Just getting focused down by those Tactical Marines as well as the Tech Marine in that engagement. Going to be this lone Tech Marine squad, Tactical Marine Squad in this cover, and they will end up having to just retreat out of there. They would just eventually lose that fight. No chance against the Tech Marine, an upgraded Tac Squad, and a Shotgun Scout Squad. So, War Boss will start charging in, probably going to look to get into melee with the War Boss. War Boss is here, but now he's in front of a Devastator firing arc. Did not even manage to get that much damage on the Dreadnought, and it will just need to be a retreat on the War Boss. The rest of Noisy's units not going to be taking that much damage, but they will be able to get out of there. Anyway, Predator out for Riku. Didn't realize he was already in Tier 3. I think he's been running with a pretty lean army. Hasn't been buying many things. He lost a squad of scouts, though, so he doesn't have repairs ready for when this Predator eventually does take damage. I think it took some damage from the melee attack from the Dreadnought, but we do see that it can just kite the Dreadnought forever. Lascannon Devastator did have a target on the Predator, but now it is getting out of there. No longer in the firing arc of that Lascannon, potentially moving back into the firing arc. No, just kidding. Ooh, Veil of Time. So we've got the Librarian out on Dark Hero, out from Dark Hero. So it does look like Matuska and Asmon will be making their way to the finals of the monthly team tournament, but who will their opponent be? All right, then. It is going to be the Apothecary getting knocked over by a shotgun blast. He is trying to get whatever kills he can on the Devastator Marine squad. Probably pretty close to getting a model, but he's also pretty close to needing to get out of there. Here is the support, though, from the Assault Marines. Just kidding. These are Vanguard veterans. They're better than Assault Marines. They've got 4 models. They've got power weapons. Here's also the support from the Predator. I could actually see this engagement now going in favor of Dark Riku. That Apothecary with that Sanguine Chainsword just rejuvenating or just restoring so much of his health that he was just such a persistent threat. The Devastator Marine squad could never really get set up, and that paved the way for the Predator to just come in and roll over. Well managed by Riku in that engagement, having quite a bit of a better showing than he did in monthly team tournament 43. All right, then. Death Dread, meanwhile, coming out from Noisy. He's still in Tier 2. Most players in this game actually still in Tier 2. Only Riku who is in Tier 3. And big generator bash happening from... from Dark Riku and Noisy. Death Dread is in there. There is a Lascannon Devastator, however, it will probably be tied up by the War Boss unless... I don't know how much longer he can last in here. Actually gets shotgun blasted towards the Space Marine base. This is a dead War Boss, I'm pretty sure. Actually, no, he has the spiky armor. He might actually stay alive. Nearly overextended with that War Boss. Here is the Force Commander. I feel like this is actually the first time I've seen the Power Fist in 2020. As crazy as that sounds to me, I feel like I used to see it all the time. Pretty sure first Power Fist 2020. But he doesn't have a teleporter pack, so it is going to be hard for him to really get in on the Predator, which is the main vehicle threat he has to deal with at the moment. Meanwhile, Vanguard veterans actually nearly die for Dark Riku. Pretty lucky to keep them alive, I think. Assault Cannon Barrage goes in, but it does not actually hit anything. So still a triple cap for Noisy and Dark Riku. Really looking pretty dominant. Oh my, this Death Dread solely here to try to see if they can wipe the Devastator Marine squads. Devastator Marines, they did have Veil of Time active. It looks like they still have it active. So the Death Dread is going for other targets. And this is pretty rough for... who is this? This is Dark Hero, man. Okay, Gate of Infinity. We'll pull the Devastator Marines back. Trying to pull it back. I know they're probably... No, there's actually not other things to go on in this match. So, this has got to be buying Noisy and Dark Riku so much time. That was a strange shot from the Devastator Marines. They do have Veil of Time. Oh, there's another Lascannon Devastator here. But so much attention and resources devoted just to dealing with that Death Dread, a relatively cheap unit inside Dark Hero's base. That was pretty funny. Scouts moving forward. Unfortunately, they are detected, and they will need to retreat under the fire of double Predators from Dark Riku. Now, I mean, Riku, these Predators at the moment, certainly Kickin and Dark Hero having trouble dealing with these Predators, but at the same time, Dark Riku also doesn't have a whole lot in terms of repair support. He's only got the one Scout Squad, so it's going to take a lot of time to provide repairs for these Predators if they do find themselves taking a lot of damage. Oh my god, they're crushing Dark Hero at this point. Oh yeah, I'm actually surprised they didn't keep going. I think they actually could have kept on going forward and maybe even killing the las cannon Devastators. Might have been worried though about the help coming in from Kickin. Warboss being focused down, but he retreats in time that I don't think he dies. Instead, we see attack model going down. Las cannon shots going in. Does have for the Emperor, but they will be jumped on by the Vanguard veterans. Las cannon Devastators need to be real careful here. They might even get wiped. It's a pretty close call. Now the Vanguard veterans going for the Tactical Marines, or are those Stern Guard veterans? Okay, Stern Guard veterans will not get wiped in that engagement. Assault Marines jump somewhere else. At this point, even though, I mean, Riku lost a Predator, he lost something else, I think, but it still feels like Noisy and Dark Riku are dominating. It's now a double cap, though, for Kickin and Dark Hero, so maybe I'm calling things just a little too early. We are going to see that Tech Marine start to lay in shots. All right, Plasma Tactical Marines, what are they going to do? They might just go for the decap on this power node. At this point, though, obviously victory points are going to be pretty important. Knobs from Noisy will be getting a decap on the middle victory point. But what is this call-in going to be? I think this is going to be a Venerable Dreadnought. It is indeed a Venerable Dreadnought coming out for Dark Hero. Meanwhile, Space Marine Predator moving in, looking for a few more kills. Does take one Tactical Marine model down. Can it get another one? Doesn't look like it will get another Tactical Marine model. Knobs are in here. I believe they are fully upgraded. I do think they have. So here is the Warboss charging in again, using Now I'm Angry to close that gap. He has Ardboys active on him. Trying to use the Warboss now to create space for the Shooter Boys, who are getting the capture on the victory point. Grenade goes in on the Shooter Boys, though, and that will interrupt their capture on the victory point. So that means the Shooter Boys are low. They need to retreat. Warboss also needs to retreat. Venerable Dreadnought so low as well, and it will go down. Stoicism has been activated, and that does mean that inevitably it will be destroyed. That Venerable Dreadnought did not have a very long second life. Alright, there is still a regular Dreadnought, though. This one's still alive. Starting to get shot, though, by some Tank Busters. Tank Busters trying to become Dread Busters, but it wasn't meant to be in that engagement. And now we do see Force Commander fully upgraded. Actually goes for the Armor of Alacrity in addition to the Teleporter Pack. I feel like I don't see that particularly often, but it's nice to see it at all. Grenade in retreat. Does not manage to kill a single TAC model. A slight miss on that. So this will actually be a pretty good game here, with this one being quite a bit more even than the last one. There were certainly times when Noisy and Dark Riku may be getting a little too greedy, trying to base camp Dark Hero. Because now Dark Hero and Kickin actually have the bigger armies.
We must reverse the course of the battle.
And now suddenly it's very, very quiet. Chat's not quiet, of course, but this game certainly a little bit quiet at the moment. Missile launcher on a Tactical Marine squad. No, just kidding. I believe those are Vanguard veterans just with different rounds loaded in, unless I have the wrong squad targeted. There is indeed a Missile launcher Tactical Marine squad right here. Oh, man. All right, then. So it is going to be the Warboss right here, trying to get the decap. He is, of course, very tanky. Oh, no! Use Now I'm Angry right into the victory point. Actually, maybe he intended to do that. Maybe he intended to proc the health regeneration from it. I'm really not sure. I don't know. That was still weird. Doesn't feel intentional. It certainly looks kind of silly. Anyway, scouts are backcapping for Dark Hero. Will not be able to complete that, though. They are sniffed out. We got a whole army committed to trying to kill scouts on retreat. Do manage to kill 2 models, but the scout squad ultimately does get out alive. Sounds like I might have heard some fake news. We don't know what's real, what's the truth. We don't know about what was going on with that Torpid versus Asmon match. We heard the opinion from CNN, then Fox News. Now I think we're just going to wait for the truth to come out and just ignore everything until I actually find out for real what's happening with that. And we're just going to refocus on our game here. Force Barrier has been used. However, it was too slow and does not manage to stop the Knobs, who are going to keep approaching. It's going to mean a retreat from the Devastator Marines. We do at least have a shotgun blast ready from the Scouts if needed, but they're also going to be the Assault Cannon Barrage. Assault Cannon Barrage does help with scaring off Noisy's Warboss. His Knobs still in there, however, and we also do have some Terminators out for Kickin. Land Raider Redeemer going to be coming in from Dark Riku. He says it's out. I can't target it because maybe it just has too many units. Oh, that's not Dark Riku, that's Dark Hero, and here is the Land Raider Redeemer. So, we do see one Predator being chased away. This is the Predator from Dark Riku, taking rear armor shots from the Predator from Dark Hero. So he's got a Predator of his own right now. We do see a decap happening, I think, from... That is the Tech Marine, who has been upgraded with the Refractor Field to make him just a little bit tankier. He gets the decap, then actually decides to move out of there, possibly deciding he either wants to repair something or maybe start shooting something with his plasma gun. Vanguard veterans will jump in. They will disrupt 3 different units. Bunched up quite a bit, but then we immediately see the retreat of the Vanguard veterans as well as the Knobs. Tactical Marine Squad will be getting a decap here, but eventually they will need to retreat. Predator for Dark Hero has been upgraded with a las cannon. And if there was an attempted decap, it was probably stalled out a little bit by yet another Force Barrier from the Librarian. Alright, so we've got a little bit of a standoff in the middle, but Noisy is starting the capture. Turret has even been set up. Can Noisy finish this capture with the Warboss? I think the Warboss is tanky enough. It's actually getting kind of close, though. Thank you for the follow for whoever that is. Warboss might have gotten a heal there or something. And the Warboss will need to retreat. Knobs tried to resume the capture for him, but they get knocked off. Tactical Marines now resume the capture. Need to trade it out. Assault Cannon Barrage going to go in. Kind of hits the Tactical Marines and the Knobs, but the Knobs are able to activate Meaner and Greener. Going to be another Force Barrier. So do we have... Yes, Force Barrier. That one coming out from Dark Hero, because who else would be doing Force Barrier? I don't see any other Librarians. Okay, well, this game is quickly coming to a standstill, except for the fact that it was, evened out by a back cap from Kickin, evening it out with a back cap. All right, you can barely see that action right there. Those Knobs in along with that Warboss. They're blocked by all those pipes. Man, this Assault Cannon Dreadnought's certainly doing quite a bit of work. Possibly not enough because it's not enabling Kickin and Dark Hero to get that middle victory point, but it does seem like it's been alive for a very long time, especially compared to that Venerable that had a very short life. Missile Launcher Tarantula Turret will be taken down by Noisy and Dark Riku. Dark Hero and Kickin have certainly made this a much more competitive game than the last one. However, at the moment, it's still Noisy and Dark Riku with the edge in this series. At the moment, looking to threaten the Game 2 victory. However, Kickin will stall things out just a little bit longer by getting a decap on the natural victory point for Noisy and Dark Riku. Force Barrier in the middle to try to start getting capture. However, the Librarian needs to be careful. He might actually go down there. Frag Assault went out from the Land Raider Redeemer. Librarian might go down anyway, and indeed he does. Ouch. Looks like I also missed a Predator going down. Must have been... Oh, and it was Dark Hero's Predator. So Dark Hero is currently buying another Predator. Force Commander is going to teleport right in. Does activate Battle Cry to start getting some special attacks. He's not even going to get knocked down by that War Boss. Instead, he knocks down the War Boss in return with his special attack. At some point, though, I feel like the Force Commander is taking a lot of damage and might need to get out of here soon. Indeed, he does retreat. We now have the Terminators. The Terminators have Lightning Claws at the moment. It does mean they will do quite a bit more damage, but it also means that they are a little bit squishier. Relatively speaking, for a Terminator, their health going down from, I believe, 5,400 health per model to 4,500 health per model. Vanguard veterans, I don't know, looking for damage on the Predator, but with their power weapons, they're only going to do minimal damage, and they will get ripped apart by the Terminators if they stay in there too long. I think they actually managed to jump out of there just in time. Yeah, they didn't lose a single model, despite being at about 40% of their hit points. So, quickly going to be another double cap for Noisy and Dark Riku. Let's see what Kickin and Dark Hero can do to kind of come back out. All right, we are going to have some scouts moving out here. Probably looking for another decap. That's kind of just been what has been keeping him in this game. But at this point, Noisy and Dark Riku are kind of onto that. They have detection. They have an army that's big enough that a scout squad by itself can't do anything about it. So I think at this point, Kickin and Dark Hero, I think they just need to make a play. I think they just need to commit their whole army for a fight on one of these victory points. They're going to make it the middle one, the contested one, using that Tech Marine with the Refractor Field, actually only going for the decap, and then maybe seeing, can they just straight up win a fight? Force Commander going in with that Power Fist yet again. Very interesting to see him actually going for the Power Fist, since we aren't really seeing him target any vehicles yet. I guess he just wants it kind of like as that contingency plan or for that versatility, but he's mostly been focusing on infantry with the Power Fist. Vanguard veterans were in a little bit of trouble, but they're probably just retreating to the Land Raider Redeemer. Yep, and indeed they do. Yet another. Wow, we had enough time for a second Venerable Dreadnought to be dropped into this game, and the victory points will actually be reversed. They will be flipped. We do have the Tech Marine taking the... Yeah, Tech Marine will make it a 2-to-1 cap in favor of Kickin and Dark Hero, with not too many victory points to work with left. We do have Las Cannon Predator from Dark Riku trying to target the Venerable Dreadnought. Moves back a little bit, though, when he does see the... Oh, my God, the Battle Wagon. I didn't even see the Battle Wagon. Oh, man. This is actually the first Battle Wagon I've seen in 2020. I remember a lot of great plays a long time ago from the Battle Wagon. Oh, and we saw a unit killed on retreat by the Battle Wagon. From Toil Ali, who did great things with the Battle Wagon in the past. This Battle Wagon, though, it's taken so much damage, it's going to die, I think, if he doesn't start moving it back real quick. Now, the Battle Wagon is pretty quick, especially if you have units loaded up inside of it, and it does manage to get out of their lives, still with about 515 hit points. Okay, Knobs are charging in. They do get stunned, and that will mean that the Knobs just have to get out of there. All right, Las Cannon Predator moving up to the Battle Wagon, though. Battle Wagon not getting repairs. I think it can take one more shot from the Predator, and anything after that, and it will go down. Actually, it's finished off by the Las Cannon Devastators before the Predator can even get off another shot. All right, it's a 1-0 cap, and we actually have a back cap happening over here by Tactical Marines from Dark Riku. So... unless we see some heroic plays just in these next few seconds, I think that will be game number 2 going in favor of the legend, Noisy and Dark Riku. And at this point, I think we are past the point of no return, and that definitely is game 2 in favor of the legend, Noisy and Dark Riku. Orbital bombardment coming down here, mostly just for fun at this point. And there it is. So we do have some hero switches from our players. Riku is now bringing out the Riku Lord. I don't know how I feel about that, actually. And usually when I say that I don't know how I feel about something, that usually means that I'm skeptical about it. The Riku Lord did not have a very good appearance in the last time that Riku made an appearance in a monthly team tournament. So anyway, let's just take a quick look. Noisy still on that War Boss, doing pretty well with it. Then we've got the Dark Riku Lord. Dark Hero going to be on the Mech Boy this time. And Kickin choosing the Warlock. Oh man, there's definitely some good stuff to look at in the chat, but I'm also going to be missing out on things going on in this game. Alright, let's move on. Caught up with everything in chat. So, Chaos Lord, oh, from Riku. Don't go down already. I think he won't go down, but that was a bit of a close call from the Riku Lord. So, 1-to-1 cap to start off our game. Riku Lord cutting it close. Kickin going to be moving in with that Warlock. Going to see if he can get a decap on the blue team's natural victory point, and indeed he will get it. And it does look like I also have to switch my score again. We will do it. All right, then. I think at this point we shouldn't have any more interruptions and we should just be able to focus on this game. Noisy even saying in all chat that he is about to just flank Kickin. Comes in over for the generator bash. That does also mean that this generator farm, which actually has no farm on it, is exposed. So on this side, it will be a generator bash about to happen by these shooter boys. Actually, just going to work on getting a decap. And oh my, it's a Guxus. I hear we had a team named after you in this tournament. Slugger Boys just barely getting out there. 13 hit points being chased down by these heretics who are themselves rather low and got to be real careful just in case they find themselves possibly getting wiped. Warboss will be suppressed, but not before he and his Orc Boys will be able to actually put a node on the red team's natural power farm. And it's taken Kickin a while to unnode this. He doesn't have huge sources of damage against it. So Noisy can be moving around, does retreat, and I mean, I guess that's the answer for getting power. Just take your opponent's power generator's forehead. Noise Marines. I think that's the first appearance of Noise Marines in this tournament. Noise Marines will attempt to silence the Mech Boy, but the Mech Boy will actually just choose to punch it out with him, which I think he actually loses that eventually. Even if it does mean that they can't shoot their ranged weapons. The Riku Lord getting so low in hit points, it does get focused down and need to get out of there. So finally, Kickin is able to get back his natural power farm. Now, although as funny as that was, I don't know if Noisy and Dark Riku necessarily had the better power income, because they did lose their own natural power node, and they will need to get that back, and I don't even think they had any generators on it. Kickin choosing to get a decap on the natural victory point for Dark Riku, and Dark Riku will slowly... The Warlock probably even could have completed that cap even under the suppression fire from the Havoc. All right, then. It is going to be... This Luda squad just still shooting, but there will be... That's not... I think that was both a Luda and a shooter squad, and indeed it was. Grenade went in on them. Stopped them from shooting for a while. Warboss is in potentially a bit of trouble, but he does retreat. Had Ard Boys active on him, so he will be okay. Just got to remember this Warboss... Again, we see the spiky armor, just so he can get that extra tankiness early on in the game in Tier 1, rather than having to wait later on for that really heavy armor. Alright, what else is going on? Riku Lord by himself, charging a Guardian weapon team. He will eventually get into melee, but at what cost? Uses Kill the Weak, does manage to restore some of his hit points, does also have this Combi Flamer. I guess he might eventually get the Guardian weapon team to retreat, and yes, indeed, that will eventually happen. So Pain Boy from Dark Hero will be getting a decap on this contested power farm. Slow generator bash kind of happening by the Heretics. And look at this. We actually see the Merciless Witchblade coming out of the Warlock from Kickin. I actually have not seen this weapon purchased that many times. Actually, there was one time where I think of all people, I think I was casting Best Noob playing as the Warlock, and he got the Merciless Witchblade. But I see so much Witchblade of Kurnos these days. In that other game, in the other game today, we saw the Immolator Blade. And people had talked to me about just different ways that the Immolator Blade was buffed that made it quite good. So Champion's Robe will be picked up as well. So it's look like he's going to be really looking for a melee tank Warlock, rather. And here's the real Warboss. Warlock going to be charging in. That Pain Boy potentially in trouble, but I think he will just barely get out of there alive. Warboss will manage to knock over a few Sluggas, and this will be a one engagement for Noisy in the middle lane. Merciless Witchblade swipes coming in on those Chaos Space Marines, but not able to end up taking a model off. Alright then, so what else is going on in here? It is going to be some suppression opening up from the Ludas. But they will be tied up by the Mech Boy, who himself has a suppression weapon. Mech Boy is too low on hit points, though, so he will not be able to stay in there. The Ludas actually have time to reset up, and there was some time bought for them by the aiming what's that from the Shooter Boys. Man, when you have a Luda on top of two Shooter Boys, it's just like Suppression City. There's just so much suppression going on. You can even use your suppression to set up your suppression. So, some powerful generator bashes now coming out of Dark Riku with those Noise Marines. Not too far of a run over to a natural power farm over here, but he's actually using it to bash the contested power farm. However, I think he is getting interrupted a bit by the Warlock. Warlock did proc the Merciless Witchblade special attack, but I think he only caught one of those Noise Marine models. And, oh no, we actually have a hero going down. It is the Mech Boy going down. So Mech Boy will go down there. This Luda squad is just, I don't know, doing its job here. Much like me, just doing his job. Now on this side, we are going to see some Burn of Sluggas attempt to even out some of these generator bashes. And I don't think there will be much of an answer to them. Yet here are some Sluggas for Noisy. However, they're being tied up by the Pain Boy, and eventually it will be a retreat for them as well. Alright then, here is the Warboss. Warboss, once again in here, was getting suppressed. He's just so tanky though, with that spiky armor. Not just how much health he gets, but also the passive health regeneration he gets, just allowing him to tank even more. At some point though, I mean, he's still here. It seems like he's always fighting with about 1/10 of his hit points. Even gets a special attack. That special attack, unless that was, yeah, I'm pretty sure that was a special attack and not his stomp ability, making it so that he gets out of there alive. I don't know if these Sluggas will be so lucky, though. We've got Sluggas on both sides. Oh, no. Sluggas, do they both go down on both sides? One gets out with 17 hit points, and then I think the other one actually is lucky enough to get out as well, but it will be a one engagement for Dark Hero. Noisy and Riku still with that victory point lead, though. Alright, oh no. Pain Boy in trouble, but I think, yeah, no, he'll be just fine. He's actually not in as much trouble as I thought. Other engagement's going to happen right here. Autark jumping in, disrupting a bunch of Chaos units, and it does look like this will be a lost engagement for Dark Riku. So Noisy and Dark Riku, I think, being forced off the field, except for the fact actually, Noisy's still out here. But it is definitely the red team at the moment who are going to have control. I thought so. Maybe not. I thought they were going to have control of the victory points. We still see that Kickin has not managed to take control of this victory point, however. So it is still evened out at 1-1 in terms of victory points. But Noisy and Dark Riku still with that 420 to 276 victory point lead. So, this time it is the Shooter Boys deciding to bash the generators on this side. Meanwhile, over here, we will have the Chaos Lord nearly dying, but retreating out of there just in time, as he has often been doing. Feels like at this point we've got the red team focusing more on killing generators rather than killing units. And it looks like the blue team will do the same. We've got the Noise Marines opening fire on the power farm for the red team. Eventually they will be suppressed by the Guardian weapon team. The Warlock is actually suppressed, so we can't yet get into melee, but here is the flank by the Banshees. However, the Banshees have to deal with this Blood Crusher that's going to start ripping them apart. Warboss will start to get back that victory point. So it was a 2-1 cap for the red team, but it doesn't look like that cap is going to last for very long. Generator bash on that, at least that one generator will be completed by those heretics. Mech Boy with that custom force field knocking over the Havocs. That's actually almost looking like it's setting up the kill. Certainly kills that model, but the other one was actually just so far back. And it's going to be Fire Dragons out of Kickin. Fire Dragons, obviously just one anti-vehicle answer, and we do see, or at least hear, something else having a good time. Where's that Stompy Tin Can, known as a Death Dread, coming out here? Just thought that Death Dread was in combat because we heard a voice line from it saying, "This is living, boys." And the continual generator bash. We have dawn of generator bashes here. Guardian weapon team will open fire, but now all of the units that it was targeting are out of its firing arc. The Warboss is so tanky, but I don't think I saw him being able to tank through that. Actually going to be a Tzeentch Chaos Space Marine upgrade for Dark Riku. Just wanting the maximum DPS on these Chaos Space Marines, although he's not committing to an aspiring champion. And that's going to be a big let the galaxy burn out of Dark Riku. The Riku Lord proving to be a threat, not a meme. Oh, Guardian weapon team in so much trouble and does not get out of there alive. Plasma grenade goes in. But that will be Kickin in full retreat. It's now a 2-1 victory point lead with 374 to 139 in favor of Noisy and Dark Riku. Going to be Dark Hero, however, who will stall that out. Getting a decap. Even our players realize that this has become dawn of generator bashes. And it will be just some more shooters in full retreat from Noisy. Warboss will be charging in there, knocks over the Mech Boy. Mech Boy will probably just eventually No, just kidding. I was going to say teleport out of there, but he apparently didn't have the health for that. And the Mech Boy was killed yet again. Surprised to see that. Ludas and Pain Boy kind of ignoring each other because the Ludas are just straight up going for the cap. I don't know if this will work out for them that well. They're already down to the point where they probably could lose a model. This is kind of risky, actually. Might lose the Ludas. He'll get a decap, and then I think it needs to be a retreat, and indeed it will be. But he paid 2 models for that, just to get a decap. I don't know if it was worth it at this point in the game. Yet again, we've got Dawn of Generator Bashes. Tank Busters coming in. Or should I say Gen Bashes? Basha. Yeah, Gen Bashas. I meant to say Gen Bustas, but instead it came out as Gen Bastas. It's coming to everything now. We got the Bastas, we got the Basters. Anyway, Riku Lord potentially in trouble. Does not manage to get off Kill the Weak in time, so the Riku Lord will be down in that engagement. Also will be a blood sacrifice, putting some blood letters out on the field, but not ultimately achieving much with that global use. This also could be the Blood Crusher in trouble here. It's trying to target the Tank Bustas, but it's still taking some light damage from the Howling Banshees. Tries to charge out of there, but eventually it is finished off with one more volley from the Tank Bustas. Now they are Crush Bustas. But they've got no more Crushes to bust, so they're going to have to look around for something else to bust, and since there are no more vehicles, we're going to probably look for a generator, but as it turns out, it looks like there are no more generators for Dark Hero to bust. Alright, Warboss is going to be charging in. He does get knocked back, though, and there will also be the Warp Vomit ability, and I think it's just going to be too much damage starting to be laid in. One shoot-up squad is being moved back. Painboy actually in a little bit of trouble here. Does manage to use his heal. Painboy is actually in so much trouble. Alright, I think Painboy is now safe, or is he? Yes, he is safe. Warboss, is he going to go down? And he will go down. That is both heroes down for Noisy and Dark Riku. And that is pretty good for Kickin and Dark Hero, especially with Kickin actually getting the revive on Dark Hero. This could just be the moment where Kickin and Dark Hero may be going to be starting a reverse sweep in this series. All right, attempting to use Zap on that Chaos Space Marines, but I don't think they're going to stay close enough for anyone's squad to let it spread, and that is correct. We have some hidden guns right here. Ludas will open fire. But we've got Swamp 'em from the Ludas. That does give them some resistance to range damage. And there, yeah. Oh no, the Painboy goes down though. I mean, the Sluggers would have gotten in there, but he retreated them. It was the Painboy he needed to worry about. All right. Meanwhile, we've got the Warboss back in here. He just likes to charge in. He gets all that health regeneration. He's going to get knocked down by his friendly Chaos Lord, so it looks like both of them bought back their heroes, or at least one of them bought back a hero, and then the other one might have revived it. Of course, the Warboss does not care about a little fire, so it's okay if he does get hit. And yet again, we see in another kill, the Warboss tossing the Mech Boy aside. That is at least the third time that I remember the Mech Boy getting killed in this series. Autark, yeah, I was going to say, inevitably the Autark should be jumping on the Havoc squad, but the Autark now going to take a lot of damage from all of these Orc boys. So Autark will have to retreat, and the Havoc is able to be kept out on the field. Fire Dragons are inside the garrison, so there will be a grenade thrown, but the grenade, where did it go? Oh, grenade is actually, that would have been his own units. Of course he's not going to nade his own units. I'm tripping here. Weird Boy got pretty low as well. And we are going to see the Painboy attempting to approach these Fire Dragons. Fire Dragons trying to run away, and they decide to eventually just retreat before they lose a model, and they manage to get out of there without losing a single model. So now we do see some Wraithguard out from Kickin. He's also gotten a late Guardian weapon team trying to defend against this Generator Bash from Dark Riku. Man, these games are turning out to be pretty long, even if it will be... I mean, it's still looking like it's probably going to go in favor of Noisy and Dark Riku. The victory point pressure has not been really alleviated for Dark Hero and Kickin, but these games are going on for a long time. All right, it is going to be the Painboy. Oh, Sluggers, not Sluggers, but Shooters just barely get out of there alive. Cult of Speed, I think, active on the War Truck. All right, so a lot of different things going on right here. It is going to be some sluggers in melee with a bunch of other sluggers. Fire dragons are laying in fire. Not seeing the Wraith Guard do much at this time. It is going to be a Tank Buster Barrage going in. Tank Buster Barrage does knock down one of the Luda squads. Okay, time is ticking for the red team. Oh my god, nearly losing some fire dragons down to only one model, but they are going to reinforce off that war truck. We've got Eldar coming out of the war truck. What heresy is this? Weird Boy coming in for force melee. Don't see that every day. He was also coming in there so fast because he does have the warpath. Wow. Missile launcher shot went in from the Plague Marines, did a lot of damage, and that will be the end of the war truck. Just kind of got trapped there between the war boss and, I don't know, a hard place or something. Victory points evened out at 1-1. Now soon to actually be a double cap in favor of Kickin and Dark Hero. Weird Boy shot goes in. And the Autarch going to be jumping in on that Havoc squad from Dark Riku. So the Havoc squad will be having to retreat, especially with these Howling Banshees in melee at the moment, forcing an entire retreat from Dark Riku. All right, we are going to see Pain Boy potentially in a little bit of trouble. Yeah, he has to retreat there, otherwise he would have potentially risked dying against double sluggers. So victory points evened out at 1-1 again, but should soon be a double cap for Kickin and Dark Hero. All right then, so here is that Warlock in retreat. Still just rocking those same upgrades. What other upgrades do we see in this game? Yeah, we've seen a few of them. And I think these have been pretty consistent upgrades for this mech boy with the Def Gun, the battery pack, and the custom force field. I think the only question... Yeah, Dark Riku, I already know his upgrades with the Combi Flamer and the Armor of the Inferno. Let's see what's actually going to happen in this fight. So very interesting to see. One of the cool things about the mech boy with that custom force field is that he actually can't be disrupted. Although I guess in the end he can kind of be tied up. Anyway... It is going to be some Bloodletters teleporting in, starting to get a little low on hit points. I think they would want to phase out of the warp at the moment, then start to walk out. They do phase out of the warp, but they also do lose one of their models. Trying to just walk back until eventually they can just retreat safely. Meanwhile, Heretics are in melee with the Shooter Boys. They will need to get out of there. It's still a 2-1 in favor of in favor of Dark Hero and Kickin. But I'm not sure how much longer they can hold it, because that was Noisy and Dark Riku winning that engagement in the middle. They just need to start moving a unit over here. Riku will use the Heretic Worship to speed the Chaos Lord up a little bit, but he decides to think better of actually attempting the cap. And that was an interesting retreat. Probably just wants to reinforce them, heal them up, and then come back out on the field at full strength. At the moment, yeah, we still don't actually see... Okay, here is an attempted play for the natural victory point for Riku. At the moment, he's not answering the Guardian weapon team, and until he does something about that, he will not be able to win this engagement. Alright, meanwhile, here is Noisy charging in again. Gets knocked over. Kind of comboing that, I don't know, getting the War Boss in there along with the Let the Galaxy Burn from the Chaos Lord. Sluggers from Noisy do decide to get out of there, even though they had more hit points. There just wasn't as many of them, and there is a Warp Vomit from the Weird Boy. Still, okay, finally, Riku's seen if he get in here, but he's under suppression fire from a Mech Boy. I don't think he can actually tank enough damage. It's going to be real close. I think he needs to retreat now or he loses the Chaos Lord. And there is another death for the Chaos Lord. It gives his life just for a decap. Let's get that thing out. And what else do we see? Weird Boy gonna get knocked over. This is not good for him. Oh, wow, they actually moved back. Okay, maybe they realized they were going into the firing arc of a Luda squad, but actually I think they would have gotten past the firing arc of the Ludas if they had charged in on the Weird Boy. Right now it's a no-cap game. Soon to be a double cap again, though, for Dark Hero and Kickin, so they're just barely hanging in there. All right, Shooter Boys will be moving around the corner. Foot of Gork, of all things, knocks them over. Doesn't do a whole lot of damage. And not every day that you see a Foot of Gork. And perhaps that's also why you don't really see it that much. It did actually knock them down in retreat, but it actually just did very minimal damage. And Riku, the Riku Lord, goes down again, just trying to retreat out after getting revived. I think this is a slightly easier position for a revive from Noisy, and the War Boss has been a pretty big boss all day anyway. Man, this has been a long game. That last one was 30 minutes by itself. This is feeling like it's ending up being another 30-minute one. Noise Marines taking a lot of damage, lose 2 of their models, and eventually do have to retreat, so it will be Kickin at the very least getting a decap. We'll even see if he can get a full cap here. Wraithguard open fire on the Tzeentch Chaos Space Marines, but at some point I think we will see the Bloodletters go in there, and the Bloodletters will definitely make short work of the Wraithguard. They are now going to target the Fire Dragons. They do a lot of damage to the Fire Dragons, but they also have to be careful about the Howling Banshees. Oh my, Seer Council are also out for Kickin. So, Dark Hero and Kickin actually slowly coming back into this game. Noisy and Dark Riku have been very slowly winning, so now it's Dark Hero and Kickin slowly coming back in. Soon to be a double cap yet again. The pressure is really on Dark Hero and... Sorry, it's really on Noisy and Dark Riku at the moment. I may have called things a little bit too early when I had said before that I thought, I don't know, it might be a 3-0. This might be where Dark Hero and Kickin start their reverse sweep. Cacophony will be used just to deter the Seer Council, but I don't think it will be enough. Not much damage went out on that Seer Council. So the Noise Marines are now in retreat. Triple cap game. And it does seem like both players basically fighting 1v1s on their sides of the map. It needs to be an engagement win. Honestly, at this point, I think it basically needs to be an engagement win from both of them, unless Noisy can take both of these victory points by himself. Slowly but surely, I think Riku actually is managing to overtake Kickin in this lane, but he also needs to create space for a unit to start capturing, and he's running out of time for that. I guess it helps that the victory point is natural, so it is closer to him. All right, he does, at this point, he should be able to start getting the cap, but we're still going to see a lot of delay attempt. Warlock is in here. He does have Champion's Robe, or rather the Psychic Shield active. Oh my god, he knocks off the Tzeentch Chaos Space Marines. That's going to be rough for them. I think it needs to be the Chaos Lord on the point, because the Chaos Lord won't get knocked over by that. Okay, Tzeentch Chaos Space Marines are actually still on the point. I still think it would be better for the Chaos Lord there instead, so they will get the decap. Oh my god, this War Boss tanking all that. So many Orc Boys died there in the making of this victory point capture. I don't know if he completes this. He's got Ard Boys. How much longer does it last? It's cutting it pretty close, and he manages to get the decap. And actually the full cap, rather. And it'd be crazy. Okay, no, he's guaranteed to go down in retreat, though. So it's now a double cap for Noisy and Dark Riku. My god, this is coming down to the wire. Unfortunately, the Weird Boy will be knocked over, so there's really no chance of them getting this victory point, I think. I don't think there's no chance. No chance. They need to make a play for the contested victory point. That's the only one that's going to happen. But then it looks like Riku is giving up the natural one for the blue team. I think this is actually going to be Dark Hero and Kickin taking this game and bringing us to a Game 4 in this series. And slowly but surely, it is true. Wow. Okay, so our series not over. It's now 2-1. Still in favor of Noisy and Dark Riku, but momentum might start going in favor of Kickin and Dark Hero with the win in Game 3. All right, here we go. Game number 4, taking place on Medine Cliff Mines. Dark Riku going to be reprising his role on that Apothecary, returning to it, or as he calls it, the Brothicary. Noisy yet again on that War Boss. He's been quite a boss on it. Dark Hero on the Mech Boy yet again. Had a bit of a tough time last game. Let's see if he'll be able to step it up a bit. And Kickin will be on that Warlock. So, now, this map, obviously, we have this big, wide, open area in the middle. Definitely does lead to a lot of great fights and great scenes. We're going to start out our game a little bit less exciting that, though, as the Scouts do take the victory point for the blue team. And it does look like it is going to be blue team moving into the middle first. However, that might be because Kickin wants to attempt some kind of generator bash. He's certainly moving in for that kind of positioning. Could also attempt to flank, but as long as he's here, there aren't really any units close by. Noisy hasn't started moving back yet. He can just get free damage on this generator. Shadows have been turned back on, as we can see those wonderful shadows. Mech Boy will actually get a decap, so taking the natural victory point away from the blue team. Not many real engagements happening at the moment. A lot of free damage did happen on this power node. Oh, thank you, Svenoms, with the raid. I'm afraid this is an English stream, so this, well, I do know, and I do appreciate you all coming. I'm just not sure if you do even understand me, but I really appreciate you guys coming in here. So, This match, Torpid, does represent the top side of the bracket, so as you can see, our score is 2-1 in favor of the Legend, in favor of Noisy and Dark Riku, our super old school players coming in hot in this tournament, playing pretty well, although they did just drop that last game, and arguably they kind of threw it because they did have a very, very big lead for much of that last game, and Dark Hero and Kickin were able to make a comeback. So, Apothecary is in here. Man, this is like an unlucky generator placement for it to be pushing positioned so far forward. Makes it a bit easier to bash. Anyway, Warlock will be able to start getting a capture on the middle victory point, really even at the moment, with neither side having a significant victory point lead, but that could change real quick as we do see Kickin starting to get the contested victory point. Alright, it is going to be some Howling Banshees. They are going to start bashing down this generator. While the Pain Boy starts to get into melee with the Apothecary. Apothecary does not have the Sanguine Chainsword, at least not yet. I wonder if we'll see that again from Dark Riku. There are so many times when he actually really did prefer that Sanguine Chainsword, liking the sustain that he gets from it, liking the sticking power, which we saw him put to pretty good effect in one of the previous games where he was able to just be such a nuisance, tying up a devastated Marine squad and making the way for the rest of his army. Mech Boy will teleport in, and he will just tie up one of those tactical Marine squads. With the Pain Boy approaching, yeah, that's going to be a clear loss for these two tactical Marine squads. Meanwhile, what's going to be happening on this side of the map? It will be the Warlock having to retreat. What's he kind of doing? Let's take a quick look at this. This is funny. He's just kind of sliding back onto base. Meanwhile, that Apothecary is in retreat. Riku still has his natural victory point for now, but there's not a whole lot that will be stopping Dark Hero from just moving in and taking it back. So Generator Bash will start going in from these Shooter Boys. Shooter Boys will be just putting in a lot of damage on those tactical Marine squads. They are looking for cover, but they took some damage just trying to find that cover. Alright, they will be in cover now, but eventually the Sluggers will approach. If anything, it would be helpful if that Mech Boy started suppressing, but actually is kind of covering the approach of any other units from Dark Riku. And this is going to be Dark Riku losing a lot of his... It is going to be Dark Riku losing a lot of his power. Lost the entire power farm. And indeed, it will be the Sanguine Chainsword, eventually picked up by Dark Riku. He now has Assault Marines, so he'll be able to break that suppression a little bit better. He'll be able to get in on those Shooter Boys a little bit better, but he still just has to worry a little bit about the Sluggers. He needs a heal to come in on the Sluggers. On the Assault Marines. He does get the heal in on the Assault Marines. That does scare off the Sluggers, and this should eventually now be Dark Hero in retreat. He's going to try to cover them with some suppression, but the Assault Marines have the energy for another jump. So, we should be able to get a Generator Bash in return. Noisy is here. He's got all his shooters. We've got the Apothecary here as well with some of his army, and this should be a very quick Generator Bash response. Warlock is dead over here. Mechboy dead as well, so things are starting to get a little tough for Dark Hero and Kickin. And yet, it's still Dark Hero and Kickin who control the victory points. So, victory points are ticking in their favor. Noisy is being real aggressive, charging almost all the way into base. He's still in here, still tying things up, and we see a really short-range retreat. Now, as all these things are happening, even in the middle of the game, I gotta remember to drink some water in between the games, but I'm gonna take a quick drink of water as I'm finding my voice starting to get a little bit sore. Alright, quick swig of water, and we're back in this. Tactical Marines from Riku will have to retreat, finding themselves in suppression, and I think that's the Apothecary all by himself, uses Purification Rites to try to clear the retreat path for him, but it might not have been enough, and indeed it will not be. Now the Apothecary, I don't think he has enough red for Lariman's Blessing. All right, victory points evened out at 1-1. Soon it will be a double cap in favor of Dark Hero and Kickin, however. Warboss will find himself getting tied up there. Not tied up, he will get suppressed there. Doesn't decide that he can break through that. A lot of damage coming in from those Dire Avengers. And we're seeing another Generator Bash attempted. Oh, and here's also the support from Dark Hero. So yeah, this should we should see quite a few generators go down here. Shooter Boy is just always so great at that. So we are going to see this generator finished off, and I think they've got enough time that they can get the whole farm. Ludus will try to set up, though, but it will be scared off just by the sheer damage coming out of those Shooter Boys. So, as usual, we are going to see a Razorback come out of Dark Riku, not built yet, actually. So let's focus on the action right here. Shooter Boys starting to exchange fire with other Shooter Boys. Howling Banshees looking to come in, but they will be suppressed by aiming What's That? Blue team shooters are pulling back along with those Tactical Marines. Here comes the charge from Noisy's Warboss, though. I think that means all these shooters and Tactical Marines should move back in. Look to support that Warboss as he draws all that attention and all that fire. All of the red team is being focused on the Warboss, except for the Mechboy. The Mechboy will get jumped. And what is this? This is a... Oh, that's a Ranger squad. I was confused for a second, because I thought I saw the... I thought I saw the Ranger sniper icon on top of the Mechboy, and I was a little confused. We are going to see... oh no, this Shooter Boy in a little bit of trouble. And these Sluggers did have Use Your Choppers for a while. They did manage to get the teleport out of the Mechboy, and he will get out of there. Does look like somewhere along the way, Dark Hero did lose a squad. And Dark Riku, with this Razorback, is going to be looking for yet another Generator Bash, I think. Banshees are here. We're going to see them knocked down by Merciless Strike, so they will just retreat immediately before they even suffer from the knockback of Merciless Strike. And this does clear the way for Dark Riku to start a Generator Bash. Does he have any other units inside? No. Okay, I was wondering why. I thought maybe they should come out and start shooting at the generators, but it was just the Razorback. With just the Razorback by itself, it's going to be a little bit of a slow Generator Bash, so he does move the Tactical Marines in to speed things along. He'll get at least one generator, but then he might start having to back up a bit. There's still not a whole lot to threaten the Razorback, but Kickin does have a Wraithlord, and it is actually immediately being upgraded to a Bright Lance, so he will need to start backing up. Although that Bright Lance Wraithlord, not the most threatening source of anti-vehicle. The Razorback, actually it seems to be missing the Razorback entirely, even though it says here that it says fires on the move with 100% accuracy. But that will scare Riku off, so that will be... Oh, wow, Riku and Noisy actually had a triple cap there, so they were starting to even out the victory points in their favor, and they will continue at the moment. However, the Mech Boy from Dark Hero will get the decap on Blue Team's natural victory point. War Trucks out for both of our Orc players. Truck Busters, so it's going to be a Truck Buster combo for both of our Orc players as well. No extra armor on the Razorback. As we do have a little bit of a pause, let's take a look at the upgrades. Yeah, these upgrades. We've seen these upgrades from Riku all day. Sanguine Chainsword and the Purification Rites. We've seen these upgrades all day as well. Power Claw, Spiky Armor, Angry Bits. How about the other side? Same upgrades yet again from that Mech Boy. Def Gun, Battery Pack, Custom Force Field, and the Warlock currently with nothing. All right. Wow, we got the Sluggers getting out of there. Oh, they were looking to put some more pressure on that Mech Boy. All right, finally some things are happening. We got a flank here, but the Razorback potentially in trouble. Oh, no, it's getting caught. Unfortunately, it kind of got path blocked, I think, by the War Truck, and the Razorback did go down. Rather unfortunate. So War Truck in a little bit of trouble, but does get out of there alive. Sluggers trying to swamp some Tactical Marines in melee. They get one model. Can they make it two? It does not look like they make it two. However, some Truck Busters will pick up a truck anyway. Assault Marine model will also go down from that melee from the Wraithlord. And it is going to be some shooters from Dark Hero. They will actually start taking back the victory point, decide to move back, deciding that the damage from the Hellfire rounds of the Stern Guard veterans was just going to be too much damage to tank, would have lost too many models. It doesn't... I don't know if they would have lost the squad there going for the full cap. Anyway, we got this War Boss still in here. Going to be looking for that cap. Victory point's pretty even. So it's now a double cap once again for Noisy and Riku, soon to threaten a triple cap in this game.
Research underway.
All right, then. Noisy going to be looking to disrupt those Howling Banshees or just straight up attack them with the Power Claw. Of course, War Boss now has Ardboys on him. Here are some Sluggers to support. Swamp'em has been activated. And the Weird Boy, along with the Sluggers, are indeed winning this fight. Autark will just have to jump out there. Probably just going to retreat afterward. Yeah, almost accidentally had them attacking, but then had them retreat out of there. One Slugger squad getting pretty low there, and is lucky to get out of there alive. While the Tank Busters are now Gen Busters, and they will finish off this power farm along with this War Boss. Man, this War Boss from Noisy has just been looking so good all day. I mean, it's not... Part of it's him, and part of it's also just the hero. Just whenever he puts Ardboys as well as Use Your Choppers on many units, but especially the War Boss himself is just looking so good. Slugger's going back in, though. I'm a little bit surprised by that. They do miss the grenade, but here is an Ethereal Slash out of the Warlock. There will be a heal from the Pain Boy, but here is also the disruption from the War Boss. War Boss can just do so much here. But at some point, we do have the Sluggers being pushed back. Pain Boy will also be baited into a retreat too. Maybe not baited, just forced to retreat. So we do have the Wraith Lord. Oh god, the Wraith Lord. I don't see the Wraith Lord getting out of this alive. Taking more shots from those tank busters. Warboss is chasing. And one more swing or missile should be the end. And there it is. That is the end of the war. Wraith Lord, I mean. Alright then. So. Uh-oh. Kickin dropped. I'm not sure what that means here. Kickin calling lag. Sadly, we're having a lot of dawn of lag and dawn of technical issues today. Really, really sad. So, not sure where that leaves this game, whether it just ends up being the win in favor of Dark Riku and Noisy. But yes, Kickin did drop from this game. So hopefully, okay.
Defeat is an invitation.
So, pretty disappointing to see that. You hate to see it happen. So, we'll have to wait on some kind of ruling from either our ref or a tournament organizer to see if that is just the end of the series or to see if the series does go on in some way. It's often kind of confusing with these technical issues when they do happen. I mean, of course, there did really look like Noisy and Dark Riku were going to be winning. However, we also got to take a look at Game 3, where it looked like they were winning that game too. And it was Dark Hero and Kickin actually coming back into it. So we'll find out shortly as we look for lobbies and hear words from somebody. And while we're doing that, we're going to make sure that we stay hydrated in between our games. Making sure that we can make it to the end of this monthly team tournament. So, it does look like that might just mean the end of the series because I am seeing a lobby that is coming up called Div A Finals hosted by Argus. And if that is indeed the finals of the tournament, we will be heading on over to that. It is just kind of sad. Wish we could just have one tournament without having some of these technical issues coming in. It is strange how all these people just come into sometimes just random people join these tournament lobbies. I guess that's part of just the consequence of hosting them publicly, but hosting them publicly also does just make it easier to find things. So, then I guess that means that our previous series does end in a 3-1 victory in favor of the Legend, which means we will have a final, another best-of-5 series between, and we'll update our score display as we do this against Senpai Mount. I apologize, Inakura. Unless you are actually... I assume you're doing something here then, though. You better be, like, reffing or streaming your own stream or doing something important. Yeah, things were just a little confusing with that last game in the series between the Legend and Goodfellas, since Kickin did drop in Game 4. They were losing the game. It was probably past 15 minutes. But theoretically, they could have come back kind of like how they did in Game 3. All right, then. So we got our finals. Looking forward to this. Hopefully, it's a very good series. Last series was pretty good. Disappointing, of course, for it to end the way it did. But hopefully, this one will work out just fine. And thank you. I think we did have a bit more viewers than this shortly after the raid from Svenoms, but for those of you who are here, now we've got 77 viewers. It's great to have you guys here today as we enter the final stage of our tournament. Although I do say the final stage of our tournament, it is going to be a best-of-5 series, which, knowing Dawn of War, I mean, this actually, theoretically, this could be as short as like 45 minutes, and it could also potentially be as long as like 2.5 hours. Probably somewhere in between. We're probably looking at least another hour of gameplay. I would say like at least an hour, and probably more likely like in the hour and a half realm. It just depends on how even or not even of a series this does end up being. So we do have all of our players in the lobby. We should be ready. Oh my! Thank you so much, Shroom, or Shri, or whatever you like to go by, or Morse, for subscribing with your Twitch Prime. Now, you are the second person who can spam your... who can start spamming some of these. Low skill. Man, so Inakura in the lobby and listening at the same time. Now, the thing is, at the moment, I am only allowed one emote per subscription tier. So we don't even have that many people subscribing, so I'm not about to put another emote on behind an even bigger paywall. There. Oh, wow. There we go. Wait a minute. You can use it? I didn't think you were subscribed, Inakura. Oh, you can do it without the sub? Oh, great. I thought you had to do it with the sub. Great. That's good to know. I actually like it better that way. That means everybody can use that. So, at our time of currently 3:58 Pacific time, it does look like we are waiting for Torpid to come back, so a little bit of a break for him as we move into our finals. Currently, they're showing random heroes. Now, of course, I did miss the rest of the Senpai mount versus Matu the Asmon. Oh, right. That makes sense. With channel points. Yeah, I know you can do that too. I didn't see how the rest of that series went. Oh, wow. Thank you for subscribing with your... Well, actually, I don't know if you did that. Losing track of things. I assume that for the rest of the series between Matu the Asmon and Senpai Mount, I'm assuming that they did not go double Grey Knight No, wait. Actually, second game they did go double Grey Knight because they were going to go. They were going to go double Eversor Assassin. So they must have actually won that. Maybe the Eversor Assassin was the answer. So hopefully we're